Death Metal Podcast. All right, Death Metal Podcast. So let me know how my sound is too, because I adjusted a little. It's a little too hot the last couple episodes. Tonight is the Autopsy worship episode. So we're gonna worship Autopsy in every form we can. Tonight we'll be not only playing Autopsy stuff, but showing some old photos, covers, rare stuff, and then talking about Autopsy, of course, and Autopsy-related bands that are worshipped Autopsy or sound like Autopsy. So we're going to throw a few of those in here too, How's my sound? Everything good? Death Metal Podcast coming live on Saturday, July 14th. So thank you for tuning in, everybody, for my Autopsy exclusive. What do you call it? This is just all about worshiping one of the best death metal bands ever. there we have some old Autopsy from the old Rehearsal from I think '88 or something. There's like a little kid running through the place one time. So hail to fucking Autopsy, one of the most brutal death metal bands ever. Basically, amongst the founders of death metal, because you had these two guys years ago, the young Chris Reifert and Evil Chuck, who made Scream Bloody Gore, basically. And then I guess after Scream Bloody Gore and drums, and Chris went back to California to do Autopsy, basically, and start his own band, you know. But these are the founders of death metal right here, basically. Like, you know, you can put it on other people's names, but really it's these two guys here that are the two founders of death metal, in my opinion, you know. That would be Chuck and Chris, you know. It worked to our benefit that Chris and Chuck went separate ways. And for me, I mean, I'm more of an Autopsy than a death guy. And then also, what I had said in some of my announcements for this is that basically, like, Autopsy, to me, they didn't change much, you know what I mean? They didn't, like, even they stopped playing for a while, but then when they came back, like, they were still Autopsy. There was no progression, basically. Like, if there was, it was very little, and it was not death level progression where it was technical, or it was just still super heavy bass tone. It's cool dudes, you know, always. So Chuck went to Florida, yeah. So okay, so next up, this is we're gonna play some things in order and some things not in order, because there's just such an extensive Autopsy and Autopsy worship catalog, and we're probably even gonna have some special guests, so we'll see what's up. So this is our Autopsy. I've been thinking about this for like a few months, basically, for Death Metal Podcasts. You know, we do different shows on, you know, German death metal or Swedish death metal or something, but I'm like, man, I need an Autopsy show on here, because basically they're one of the best death metal bands there ever was. So, I mean, they kind of need their own show in a way. So we're going to play a bunch of stuff. We're going to play some old live stuff, interviews, rare things, show some rare photos that I pulled out of my personal archive. You know, like even in the earliest days of Autopsy, like this was one of the earliest Autopsy shirts, if not the earliest Autopsy shirt right here. So I think Chris actually printed this shirt, if I'm not mistaken. So I figured this was worthy of showing too. The early Autopsy stuff, just as heavy and just as brutal as the latter Autopsy stuff. And the band was also on a European label, Peaceville, very early, and did Euro tours before they were really touring the US, you know, so which is cool. But there was a time in the Autopsy life where they played, you know, locally, and then they in particular, I'm not sure if this is the flyer for the show, but I got this flyer in the mail when I had first written to Autopsy. It was Party Till You Pee Red with Autopsy. So this was an old flyer I had gotten from Chris with probably like a letter on the back or something. And I'm not sure if this is the particular show that this is linked to. Let me see here. I just have to pull the visual up here. Where are we at here? There's a lot to Autopsy. So this show was with Sadus, if this is the same show. It says August 12th, 89. Check it out. Enjoy. that's about where the alcohol had started kicking in, I'm sure. So, hail the Autopsy. They sounded good live, even back in a backyard, basically. Ron Jeremy did in fact like death metal. Was that Ron Jeremy in the background? A little looking like it, right? I'm not sure about that, but hail to everyone that tuned in tonight to Death Metal Podcast and our Autopsy worship episode. So I love Autopsy. So basically, we Necroharmonic actually released a few Autopsy things too, and Abscess, and they've been pretty much a big thing for my life and important band in a way because like I said, the Severed Survival, which was like. I remember showing I remember I was in the record store. Okay, I'm going to go back to getting my first copy of Severed Survival. So I think my friend Bill Venner had told me about the demos of Autopsy. And then I was in the record store and I was with this kid, Mark Tortorello. And we were in Mickey Music, which was a place in Belleville, New Jersey. And I had held up this Autopsy record and I said, oh, look at this. Like, this looks crazy, I was like, I wonder what this sounds like, And the guy, and my friend told me, he goes, they sound like Exodus, man. And I'm like, really? Because at that point, I had loved Exodus, Bonded by Blood. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this fucking record, dude. And so I buy the record. I bring it home. I'm like, man, this does not sound like fucking Exodus whatsoever, dude. So this was the record right here. It was the original cover with the Severed Survival with the kind of the Hellraiser theme on it before the Surgeon theme. So what do you call it? This was definitely kind of my next level fucking step into metal. Like after I heard this, like my head was all fucked up basically, and I just couldn't go backwards at all, dude. It was all about just old school, like I like death and but Autopsy kind of took it to the next level in a weird kind of way, So it to me, like the vocals were lower, like the slower parts were just more doomy and just more disgusting sounding. And I just really became a disciple of the band, there was definitely something solid about them that you just couldn't, get away from. Earlier in their career is they had like a huge blast of, like I said, some US shows and some European stuff too. So we're going to play some stuff from different years. And again, I'm not going to play everything in order, but I wanted to play this too. I don't know if this is considered like the earliest Autopsy song from '87. And if you hear some of the song riffs in it, this is from a Rehearsal release on Peaceville. Everything is courtesy of Peaceville here, pretty much, except for the worship bands. But so you're going to hear some riffs in here that later made it to like Acts of the Unspeakable or something. So the song is called Christ Denied, and the Rehearsal was from 1987. So check it out. All right, never sleep on Autopsy, man. So, did you hear the riff in there in the beginning? So, also, I wanted to make an announcement too for the band on August 23rd in Detroit. Autopsy playing with Nunslaughter, Cardiac Arrest, Acid Witch. So this is this year, California's death metal legends first show in Detroit in nearly 35 years. It says that's crazy, man. So this is upcoming August 23rd, not too far away, a month or 2 months away or so. So definitely, if road trip, all right, sick lineup, definitely, dude. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. Again, this episode has been in my head for a minute. Just wanting to worship one of my favorite bands, Autopsy, and being that there's been a lot of death metal podcasts where I did like a Japanese version or whatever, dude, interviews, something this that. I felt like I was missing. I was like, man, like Autopsy, one of my favorite of all bands. So I need to do a straight up Autopsy episode. I just felt like it was missing from the death metal podcast repertoire. So again, Autopsy very early in their career played shows in Europe, even before they played the Day of Death in October of 1990, where they had been the headliner, which was a very epic festival at the time. But back in February of 90, the band was touring around in Europe. They had done 2 tours. They had done one with Pestilence and one with Paradise Lost. I'm not sure which one was first or second. But so back then too, so we're gonna have some live footage from back in the day, and then again, I'm not probably won't play everything in order, but check it out. Autopsy. All right, we have it. That was Autopsy live from France. So we got a special guest here to join us, Mike Abominator from Ruin. Total Autopsy.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Fucking virtual hug, you motherfucker.
Hell yeah. So I know we're gonna play a show here that you were at too. I have a weird fucking feeling that you had to be there, man, because
hey man, if you're playing Waters Club, you can see the fucking blonde hair fucking front row fucking headbanging. That's me. That's when I was skinny with long hair. I was hot shit.
Talk to me about your early Autopsy live experience, brother.
Oh man, fucking the one memory, it's one of those things like you remember the fucking losses more than the victories, unfortunately, right? So when Autopsy first played here, Enrique Chavez from Sadistic Intent, Lurking Terror, our buddy, he fucking brought Autopsy down here to play with Sadistic at a fucking backyard in Southgate, and me and my buddy Bart from Extinction of God, we couldn't get a ride out there because we were still young fucking assholes, no fucking vehicle. We're always relying on fucking older friends to fucking take us to shows and shit.
Right.
We didn't fucking go to that fucking show. We were so fucking pissed because, I had already started writing to Chris. Back in the day, man, Autopsy was fucking all over the place. Right. They were fucking just legends. It's like Autopsy and fucking Nihilist, man. They were just everywhere. Everybody had the Critical Madness demo and the Only Shreds Remain demo. Right. And Nocturnus, fucking Science of Horror demo. Those fucking 3 demos. Everybody
on everyone's tape trading list too.
Everyone's tape trading list. Immolation too. Both demos fucking everywhere. Fucking So I had to write to Chris, and then we just started fucking writing. Probably about 89, I think, was when I first met Chris and started writing with them. And they were just so they had Critical Madness. I didn't have the first demo, the legendary first demo, right? But just wrote to Chris for Critical Madness, and the friendship began from there, man. And then Severed Survival came out, and it's still my favorite fucking death metal album of all time. That's just me personally. I'm just fucking saying.
Same here, man.
So
it's my favorite too, and that's why we're doing this fucking episode just dedicated to fucking
You're damn
Autopsy.
Right, man. I heard about this. I hadn't fucking been able to get on with you in quite a while, brother. So when you said Autopsy worship show, I was like, oh, I gotta fucking do it. Okay, I'll do it.
All right, so we're gonna actually play a show here. Maybe this will be out of order from the Euro. Actually, no, we're going to stay. This is Autopsy live in Holland in 1990. So check it out, everybody.
I got a fucking mixtape or a tape about that.
Here we are. Here we go. Hold on a sec. There we go. All right.
There we go.
So this is our autopsy special, basically. It's just been in my mind for a little minute because just little things I see people doing specials about like certain bands or whatever, and I'm like, man, I fucking love Autopsy, dude. I have to have a whiskey and go live and talk just about my favorite fucking band, dude, you know? So this early tape of Autopsy.
This is the show you just played, actually, live in Rotterdam, Holland on that tour. I think it was with Pestilence and Asphyx, maybe?
Yeah.
So,
I know
we got this
probably
from
Pestilence.
Fuck, dude. I want to say we got this from Pat from Hell Witch or something, or maybe Steve-O and Pataigo. But yeah, we made our own little bootleg tape, and we weren't even selling it or anything. We were just fucking handing it out to friends that were
just
Autopsy freaks. You know what I mean?
Like
Chris and the guys were fun. We were totally cool with them, obviously, especially Chris. You know, but we never really even thought of fucking doing. Because, some of the bands we would fucking, I did that bootleg tape episode on my channel recently and shit. Right. And we would do fucking bootlegs and shit like that. Most of those motherfuckers didn't care, man. They're on fucking Earache and Peaceful. Man, you're cool. Even when they got on Roadrunner and shit like that, I mean, we were even making Fear Factory tapes because they came from the fucking LA Underground. But anyways, fucking.
Yeah, with two, also the one thing about Autopsy too, which kind of carried through the rest of like the Death Metal Underground, is like kind of like the whole like hand-drawn tapes, logos and stuff, you know what I mean? Where you had Chris Reifert's actual fucking handwriting on the tape, you know what I mean? Where the logo and everything, and then
yeah, dude, you know what's up because look at that, that's the fucking same shit that's on here.
Right. So if you wrote to Autopsy in the early day, you might have gotten something like this back where it had
exactly what you got.
Yeah, like a little thing with some lyrics.
Yeah, what's funny is that Chris just randomly wrote that to somebody and they just fucking photocopied it and it fucking went viral back in the day, right?
Right.
That was the old school viral. But one of the cool things is that when Ruin did the split with Violation Wound, the 7-inch, I had Chris, I told him, dude, we need your fucking font, the way you write, dude. I want you to write the entire layout like that. And, Chris is always like, oh, man, I don't know. Like, dude, you have to do it. Like, Chris is so fucking mellow, dude. He's like, well, man, I was like, hey, Chris, you have to fucking do it. That's going to be like a dream come true for me. And Chris is so cool, too. He's just like, all right, fuck it, Mikey, let's do it. So he did it, dude. And if also
in the earlier days too, for say like death fests, let's say Milwaukee Metal Fest 1, if I'm not mistaken, was headlined by Autopsy back in like '89 or so. I believe they were the headliner, and I had some old photos I had pulled out of my archive, which I've never shown anyone. This is, I guess, right after they met with Mark from Impetigo. He had given them some copies of their fanzine, Uniforce. So there you see them all with their own copies of Uniforce checking it out,
Fucking Chris is wearing an old Hex shirt, dude, like a demo Hex shirt, dude.
yeah. And they're all they're all holding copies of Uniforce mag. And then this was there was a picture session of them with guys from like Dr. Shrinker.
Yeah.
And actually, Kurt Hubert, who took the photos for the album or whatever, he had sent this to me like way back when I had worked on the Autopsy demo CD thing. So this is an original old school, lineup with them chilling with holding the old fucking Uniforce shit. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, dude. Look at fucking. That's when they had Ken Savari back there on bass too.
Yeah. So and then
I know. For a while, they had Cutler's brother, Steve, was playing bass for a bit,
Right.
And then obviously Steve DiGiorgio played bass on Sever Survival and fucking, yeah, dude. It's
right. And then there's some other pieces like this. This was like from my archive too. Pretty old piece. The old taken from Metal Fest 4, Milwaukee, early 90s. But I think this was a little earlier than that. I'm not sure. He's got the old Immolation shirt on there.
Yeah, that's the demo. That's the 88 demo.
Yeah,
that shirt. I never got one of those, man. You still got your shirt?
No. I need to get the repress,
You need to fucking print those, Roy.
Nah, I mean, they kind of have their own cap on that right now, immolation. So, hell is immolation, dude, you know?
Hell yeah.
Also, this was sent to me back in when I put out the Autopsy demo CD. The guy's just chilling in the fucking studio.
Nice.
You know, this was definitely a mental funeral era thing because I see him with that same shirt I have. But
right.
It's a really old school fucking shit I pulled out of my little archive here, you know?
I got to say, too, man, like those dudes fucking class motherfuckers. You've met them. Obviously, You've known them. You've worked with them.
Stayed at my house.
They've stayed at your pad, fucking dude. They've stayed at my pad in the past, fucking just fucking. Again, I did fucking try to get in contact with both Chris and Eric, so we'll see if we can pipe them in today. I was telling Roy, for you fuckers out there, you know, fucking, we're trying to get fucking Chris and Cutler on the fucking action today. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't ask them in advance, but you know,
they might be in fucking like, you know, fucking Greece or something playing a fest. Who knows, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But no, dude, Danny, especially, like I was telling you, Danny's off the grid. He just fucking sits there and fucking takes bong rips all day. He's so fucking, he's fucking so cool, dude. Fucking these
years
guys,
ago, he gave me his toy selling card. He had like a card where he was dealing with toys, like very early, like way before anyone was fucking with toys, dude. You know?
I think he had a fucking booth at like a fucking convention and shit up north in San Jose or some shit at one point. Who knows, man? But yeah, fucking dude, those guys are so fucking cool and down to earth too, man. What's up, Andrew Gabriel? I haven't talked to fucking Andrew in a while, man.
Critical Madness. What's everyone's favorite Autopsy song? Yeah, you guys can throw that in the chat. So we're gonna go back to the Holland, and then we'll play some more stuff after that.
This next song, it's the second song of our album. It's called Service for Vegan Coffin.
All right. So Autopsy. This is old. That was some old live stuff from Holland.
Brilliant.
My man. What's up, Sly? I see you in the chat here. Sly said back. Sly from Fondle Corpse. Back in the day when they had good shit in Holland.
What's up, Sly?
How's it going, Sly? How's it going, brother? Definitely. I'm sure your band is definitely kind of Autopsy. What do you call it? So we should play some Autopsy Worship too, right, Mike? Because there's a lot of Autopsy Worship out there too. You know,
it all sucks compared to Autopsy. But I guess we can.
Well, I get you on that. I feel you, but it's nice.
I'm just fucking talking shit, bro.
I know it's nice that there's been so many bands that have been influenced by like such a deep and brutal like band. You know what I mean?
Real quick though, let me. What is your experience with Autopsy as far as like? I don't know if you talked about this prior, but like you said, they stayed at your pad and shit like that. Tell me about all that, man.
Yeah, that was in '93 when they went on tour with Incantation and Morgue. They had driven to do the first shows on the East Coast.
Vital Remains too, baby.
Right, and basically, John McEntee had told them that he's like, oh, you know, like my friend, yeah, he smokes a lot of weed, dude, you know, so like
you should stay with Roy,
you should go, yeah, you should go stay with him or whatever. And it was weird because like we hit like a little, like my town hit like a little dry spell then too, so it was like kind of like oh no, you know, like fuck, dude, like I didn't really. And then they rolled up in like a tour bus, you know, and it was during the summer. So basically, they were able to park their tour bus like outside of my apartment, basically in the parking lot on the side of at the side of my house. And then they just would come in my house to take showers. We would they taught me how to do snow bongs, where we would take the snow off the side of my fucking freezer and fill up my bong with snow. And like I had never done that before, and I was like totally blown away. And then I remember even that I remember we went to the city or something. They got weed. I got weed. I don't remember what happened, but basically, like the situation was so dire that basically Danny said, you know, I might have my friend send me some weed overnight with Federal Express in a fucking package where it was like disguised with like chili powder or some kind of shit. And he wanted to, because the marijuana in fucking Cali was so much more potent than our New Jersey bullshit, you know what I mean?
You know it, baby. You know it.
So he wanted his real deal shit, and they had smoked their whole supply by the time they had hit Jersey. But yeah, I had gone around with them to a few shows and hung out with them.
They made it to Jersey.
Yeah, I had met Freeway then because he was playing bass, and he gave me the Immortal Fate Advanced the Beautiful at the time, which was not even a thing. And then also I met Petri, the boogeyman, flew to my house.
The boogeyman.
Yeah, and he stayed in my house also for just one night. Dude. But he came from Finland, if I'm not mistaken, and he worked for the airlines. And he flew in because they were having a show in New York, and he came to just sing one song with them. So I got to hang out with the fucking boogeyman too, dude.
Boogeyman, dude. You got the boogeyman too.
I got the boogeyman experience and everything. And
then you got the Autopsy Familia right there, baby.
Yeah, it was cool.
Fucking badass.
Yeah, and there was shots like I didn't take any photos back then, but there was shots from their DVD where I took them to the diner and they found like a dead animal and they put like a cigarette butt in its mouth or something. Okay. So if you ever saw that, that's right in like Kearney or wherever.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
North Arlington.
That was you.
Yeah, that was in Kearney or North Arlington.
That was the Dark Crusades DVD, man. So I got Roy filming the fucking dead animal, Arturo fucking filming the Hong Kong Cafe legendary show.
Right.
Fucking with the Dismember guys in the background watching and shit. So yeah, that's fucking badass, dude.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, definitely, you know, I went to a few shows with them. They played in South Jersey. And then one of the show that they played in South Jersey was we had gotten like a soundboard or whatever. And then that ended up being what became the double 7-inch, the Tortured Moans of Agony fucking double 7-inch. And then that eventually became a CD where we took the Mexican bootleg release and then we put the Tortured Modes of Agony together. That's a rare tape, brother, if that's the OG, because I only passed out Reifert, a few of those.
I got this from fucking Chris when Abscess and Gas played together up in Van Nuys, dude. He brought this for me. Dude.
Yeah, there was only a few of those made too. It was just a promo just for the 7-inch, you know, that passed around at the time.
No,
you know?
me and Bart got the 7-inch too, because we went to the show. It was like Abscess, Agents of Satan, Gasp, and a few other bands. But yeah, no, he said like the 7-inch had more copies than the tape. The tape is actually rarer and shit.
The tape is super rare, dude. There's like whatever copies I made and whatever copies Chris made, that's it, dude. And I made the 7-inch. I only made the tape so I wouldn't have to send 7-inches to zines. Because I'm not sending 2 7-inches to this zine, dude. How about one cassette with a photocopied fucking cover? Because it's cheaper, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Even if it was like only $2 or $3 back then, it was like, to me, like $3 or $4 was like not $2. You know?
Fuck that, dude. Even back then, it was too much, dude. That's fucking crazy.
So I've given out the tape to a few select people, and then I think Chris had a copy of it too, and then we just spread that around a little bit at the time, you know. I remember I talked to him about doing the demos CD during that period of time too, or doing a release with it. I was more into vinyl and tapes back in '93.
Well, of course, but I know that Chris always loved working with you, man, and Danny too. But Danny was always like behind the scenes. But they,
No, I love Danny.
Your name always came up, dude, and we were hanging out and shit like that. Eventually, we're fucking smoking and drinking and shit.
We worked with Abscess. Yeah, we worked with fucking Abscess, which was awesome. And I had pulled Dennis Dredd.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm back. People. Sorry about that. I lost internet connection for a moment, though. Sorry about that, brother. Did I lose you?
I thought that was my internet connection because that shit died. Yeah, fucking.
Sorry about that.
We got a little surprise. Hopefully, I got a text right now. I'm not going to make any promises, but we'll see what's up. Sure. All right. But yeah, we were talking about. So you got to do fucking snow bombs because remember on that Dark Crusades DVD. Let me just say this, man. You haven't fucking listen, people. Back in the day, Roy just mentioned that in New Jersey. No offense to the East Coast weed, but like West Coast had it on lock back in the day because this was before hydro weed and shit like that. And like
Humboldt County
knew Cali had the Golden Triangle, and that's where the best marijuana on earth. I mean, if you go back to Method Man interviews, fucking Snoop Dogg, fucking any of these motherfuckers, they always say the best weed comes from that part of Northern California, man.
Right. And Humboldt County, right?
Humboldt County, baby. And High Times Magazine would always do their cup, their marijuana cup. So if you were a fucking toker like we were, that was the best of the best right there. That's where the Chronic came from.
And I had fucking, instead of having posters of naked women in my room, I had posters of fucking marijuana buds, basically.
Well, you had naked women and marijuana buds and Autopsy. So. Just like I did. I had marijuana buds. I had, Autopsy and naked women too. So
the fucking the High Times was all about Cali weed, and it was almost like it was legal there, so it was kind of rough on us East Coasters, because it was like, what the fuck, why is it legal there, like,
but it was always
but it was illegal
thing.
But it wasn't, but it was, and it was cool though.
Yeah.
And they set the precedent probably for the rest of the fucking United States, but it only took 35 fucking years,
right. But if you fucking smoke now, Eric and Chris are smokers,
right?
But the hardcore motherfucker is Danny.
Danny.
Danny, you spoke with Danny. Danny would sit there and he'd fucking look you up. He'd be like, Roy, I'm going to give you some of the best. This experience right now is going to be something else, brother.
Yes.
You're going to smoke something. Like, he's going to fucking lecture you and shit. Danny's just like...
Yeah, he's like, can I have a spoon? I'm like, dude, what do you need a spoon for? Right? And then he's like, you have a lot of frost on the inside of your freezer, dude.
He's like a surgeon.
So he put down like a paper towel or like a paper plate or something, and then he fucking just scrape, and then the snow would keep falling in there, and scrape, and then he filled up the fucking bong with the snow, no water, no nothing, just snow, dude. And then he was like, here, try this. And I was like, what the fuck? That was so next level to me at the time. I was like, holy fucking shit, man. I can't believe I'm smoking with the fucking smoke 4 oboes or whatever the fuck,
Right. One of the best fucking times I had was it was like abscess, immolation, and mortician at the Corona Showcase. By the way, rest in peace, Ezot, man. The guy that ran the Corona Showcase out here. That Incantation always played out here at the Showcase Theater. He just passed away today, apparently. So,
sorry,
rest in peace, he's out, man. He was fucking our guy out here. And,
taking a lot of hits out there, Mike.
But yeah, we have a lot of loss, dude. Victor from Excruciating Terror, rest in peace, and my girl Danny. And man, we're hitting. Hey, it comes in threes, dude. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. I remember Victor. He wrote to me and sent me the Excruciating demo.
Victor's OG, man.
So yeah, I do remember him. So we're going to get back to our autopsy worship and show. This is going to be on the worship side of things. We at least should worship autopsy too. So there's a lot of fans that basically do, go into the autopsy ways. And this was one, and they're doing an autopsy cover, not just worshiping. So Anatomia. Whoops. All right. Autopsy worship at its finest. That's
Anatomia rules, dude. Fucking Takashi.
Stillbirth, cover of Stillbirth on from the demo. Stillborn. Sorry. So that was on the first Anatomia album, which the Anatomia album is super autopsied up too, you know?
Absolutely. No,
between
fucking
them
Takashi,
and coffins.
Takashi fucking gives no fucks. He worships Autopsy.
Right. It's cool motherfuckers. So we're gonna get back to playing some old school Autopsy. Like I said, we barely could crack past 1990 at this stage, but that's the way it goes.
We're gonna be going on for a while.
Yeah, so this was in San Pedro, California. Them an early version of them playing "Hole in the Head"
Waters
before it came
Club,
out.
Baby.
Bells, yeah. So that was recorded. That was Hole in the Head, but that was being played live before it actually came out on the album.
Yep.
Which they had done they would do 2 songs. They would do Hole in the Head and they would do Destined to Fester. And I remember the first time I heard Destined to Fester because it was so fucking slow. I was like, whoa, this is it felt like a whole different direction and so slow and cool. And I seen it at the Day of Death and I was just dumbfounded, dude. Like, I think I had heard it right before, but the thing is, seeing it live was next level. And I have something here too, which many have not seen. So John Verica had done a small interview with Eric.
Visions.
Yeah, backstage at the Day of Death. And then, so Eric is talking all about the early, like basically what's coming next for Autopsy. So here, and he's a little stoned and high and whatever, and
Eric.
Not him. So check out this interview and just enjoy the nostalgia of the old school videotape. Hold on, just got to fast forward to it.
Classic. Love it.
Here we are.
For me?
Yeah, you.
One Autopsy. Hi, I'm Eric. As you can tell, I'm one of Autopsy, but the other 3 aren't here right now.
You have a brief history of the band?
Say that again.
Brief history of the band?
Brief you in on the band. Okay, well, we started in August of '87 with just me, Chris, and a different bass player. We dropped the bass player, got Danny on guitar, and a new bass player, and we did a second demo, Critical Madness. And then after that, we got signed to Peaceful Records. So then we did the album without Ken, our bass player. He quit. And then we got him back, and then we kicked him out again after the tour. So we'll miss out on the second album as well. And that's pretty much up to now.
How come it took you so long to get to the East Coast?
Because no one wanted to pay for us to come out. Well, we hadn't got any offers. The few offers that we did get, we couldn't accept because we were busy recording and stuff. So we really couldn't do nothing about it.
So your label never hooked you up with a tour?
Our label's out of England, so they did hook us up with a tour, but it was a European tour. So they got us 2 of them. But it's kind of hard for him to do anything in the States because he's so small.
Whatever you're ready. Do you plan to do a full U.S. tour?
Yeah. After the next album, we're going to do a complete European tour, go to all the countries we missed last time, and then hopefully do a stateside tour right after that.
Do you have new material now?
Yeah, we've got about 12 or 13 new songs right now. So,
are you recording now?
Yeah, we just recorded a 3-song EP that we just mixed it the other day. So we got to master it still, and then it'll be released. And that'll be we'll do the second album right when it gets released in November.
So you're doing the album after the EP?
Yeah, the EP's done. It'll be released pretty soon. And then the album will be right after that.
You got a name for the EP yet? Name for the EP yet?
Yeah, the EP's gonna be called
the EP. So he's talking about the EP back then, you know? Which the EP was fucking, this is the EP right here. So I have a photo of it. Which not only next level as far as not using the first logo, but doing this fucking thing, you know? It was a retribution for the dead.
That fucking EP ruled too. It was
so different. Yeah, like slower, you know what I mean? And like it was taking you to another fucking chamber of Autopsy, basically. You know what I mean?
It really was, man, because we already had like Paradise Lost with that fucking Death Doom, right? But Autopsy was grimy and fucking dirty and sloppy and fucking like, it was just more like Sabbath, you know, fucking Sabbath death metal, dude. Right. I remember like Rick from Sadistic. It was funny because we were hanging out one night later, you know, when Mental Funeral came out. And I was like, hey, man, you like that fucking, that new Autopsy's fucking insane, dude. And he's like, oh, is that the one that sounds like Black Sabbath and shit? And I was like, oh, fuck. Hey, he's not wrong, man. He's not wrong. Because it sounded like fucking death, scream, bloody gore kind of fucking on steroids was severed. And then Mental Funeral totally fucking sounds all Sabbathy and shit, especially hole in the head. And,
yeah, Retribution.
You know what I mean?
Really,
so yeah, Retribution's fucking
different.
very fucking doomy and gloomy, dude. You're right, man.
So we're gonna hear some of that right now. This came out in '91. Like he said, this was being mastered at the time. So that video was from the Day of Death in October of '90.
Nice.
So right before that, right, this is what came next too. Doomsters, man.
Hell yeah.
Hold on a sec. Let me put that cover off there. I must have left it on the whole time, huh? See what alcohol and podcasting do together?
That's right, man.
So,
you gotta fucking be careful, Roy.
So we're an hour and 23 minutes in this, and we have only made it to 1991. First of all, so that's not a bad thing, dude. Because Autopsy is rich in the fucking death metal history.
Autopsy fucking rules, dude. They're the fucking goats, you know.
They definitely are the goats, you know. And then, I mean, I guess at some stage too, you know, they've also branched into other bands, you know what I mean, with Abscess, Ravenous, people from other cool bands have joined Autopsy, like Joe from Vaughn joined Autopsy, or
Necrosick too. Don't forget Necrosick.
Yeah, or what do you call it? Didn't Danny come from an early Cali band, Bloodbath or Desecration or something?
Desecration, yeah, I think it was a Desecration.
Yeah, on the demos or some shit. So
Yep.
I mean, it's rich fucking California fucking death metal, So yeah, the weed was good out there too. So we're gonna play some more tracks that are let's see here. I wanted to go and play some what do you call it? This is comes from the Mental Funeral release. I'm not sure if Fiend for Blood came out first or Mental Funeral. I think it was Retribution.
Fiend for Blood's underrated, dude. So good.
Mental Funeral, and then Fiend for Blood, if I'm not mistaken. But check this out. This is Robbing the Grave. bongs. No bongs. That's what's up, man. What's up, Bob Kelly? Bob Kelly,
right.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Let's do
you.
a surprise real quick, yeah?
Oh, okay. So we might have a little surprise.
I think we got the Godfather on the phone here. Hey!
You gonna put his phone up to the mic?
Yeah, here, let me put the phone up to the mic, brother. You there? You there? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Hold on. What's up, brother?
Oh, I don't know. I just got back from grocery shopping.
Oh, what's up, Chris? How's it going, man?
Hey, Roy, what's shaking, man?
I decided tonight for my 191st episode of Death Metal Podcast that this episode was going to be dedicated just towards fucking Autopsy, basically, because you guys are my favorite fucking band ever, dude.
Yeah.
Well, was Ace of Base not available?
I guess not. No. How's it going, man?
That's where I would have gravitated towards. I'm doing good, man. How about you guys?
Very good, brother. What do you call it? What's I see you guys are going to play in Chicago. You know, what's the like the last X amount of years? I noticed Autopsy has come very strong with just album after album of strong songs and you know, good studio recordings with your new bass player and everything. Could you talk to that a little bit?
We're just waiting for the slap of reality, I guess. In whatever form that may come in. Yeah, so we're actually playing Detroit in
right.
August. We'll probably hit Chicago next year, I betcha.
Yeah, we got the flyer here for it. We'll show it right here. The Sanctuary with Nunslaughter, Cardiac Arrest, Acid Witch. So this is August 23rd, the first show in Detroit, it said, or something? In 35 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think the last time we played there was probably like 91 or something like that.
Nice. Holy fuck, dude.
Michigan Death Fest or whatever, huh?
Yeah, I think that was the last, the first, last, and only time we played there so far.
You know what? You guys are like the essence of a band who didn't fucking change or sell out or whatever the fuck happened with most death metal bands who progressed a little. Like even in Autopsy's own progression is like you guys regressed to progress in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like your recordings got bigger, but all your riffs and your sound are still sound kind of similar to all the earliest fucking shit. You know what I mean?
So yeah, we're going to do stuff. We're going full on Dream Theater next time.
Okay. I'm sure, dude.
What's funny?
Somebody saying come play in Australia?
I on that band. I've never even heard it before.
Yeah. I know you haven't, man. You're just talking shit, motherfucker.
I know. What a rude.
Thank you for coming on, though, brother. Because basically, like I just wanted to come on here and just tribute one of my favorite bands, and you guys have, you guys are kind of what helped me get into death metal in a way. You know what I mean? So like, it's just nice to talk about, your old stuff and play it on here, and the fans in the chat talk about things that their experiences, or Mike with his early experience when he had hair and stuff.
Oh, I remember those days myself.
Now,
memory, but there's photographic proof, I guess.
We love you, Chris, man, and I appreciate you fucking taking time. I know you're busy,
thank you.
But it's like me and Roy, when Roy brought this show up, I was just like, man, I'm fucking buddies with the boys. I got to fucking get him on here. I know Danny's off the grid and Eric's got his thing, but I was like, I'd probably get a hold of Chris, and if he's got time, he'll fucking take a couple minutes and shoot the shit. So
thank you.
Appreciate it, man, because...
Sure, it's just the perfect window. I just went shopping for food, and I'm going to cook some food pretty soon. But I have a little window of time to tell you.
Yeah, are you doing your own podcast or something? I noticed you in the live space on YouTube at some point.
Me?
Yeah, something live. I don't know. I saw you definitely on some YouTube videos where you were looking like you were. I don't know if you had a channel or you were being interviewed or what.
No, I don't have a channel or a podcast or anything. I'm just a weirdo sitting in a room surrounded by a bunch of records and CDs.
Okay.
Well, you should fucking start a podcast, dude.
What's that?
You should just fucking start a podcast.
Nah, no one wants to listen to me talk about stuff they don't care about.
I don't know.
Dude.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Boys making a living off it. I'm fucking starting to.
I'm not making a living off it, but I do it quite often, you know. So when you guys first did
money talking about death metal.
Right? When we were showing this early Autopsy video where you guys were playing outside and Sadus was playing. It was like 1989 or something like that. That show ring bells. That. Yeah, what was the deal with that show? Was that the Party Till You Pee Red show?
No, the Party Till You Pee Red show never happened. That was we had a flyer made for it and with a really good logo on it, but for some reason it was going to be a house party at our friend Derek's house, but for some reason it never happened. I don't remember why, but so the flyers is just something to look at this point, but there's no event tied to it. But what you're talking about was I don't want to call it a show. I mean, it was booked as a show, but it was like kind of like an outdoor party.
Yeah, like a barbecue, right?
There's a Fresno called Sanger. It's just kind of like this sort of like farm area with nothing out there whatsoever, just kind of like farmland and stuff. And our friend Donnie invited us to come down and Sadus to come down and what was it? That band Betrayal played also, and I'm sure Morbus must have played our friend Donnie's band. It was just kind of like an outdoor party / gig / love-in, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It was cool, man. It's nice to go back and look at those things now, where now it's like, well, that was 35 fucking years ago. That was 40 fucking years ago type shit, you know? Do you look back at some of your old videos? Are you rehearsing in 1988 and you're like, holy fuck, dude? Like,
no, I don't look at those. Just because I already lived them, so I don't need to look at them again. But I like thinking about that stuff because I don't have to do it again. Like, oh, cool! I'm glad we did that. Now we don't have to do it again. But no, that was fun. We actually had a really good time at that. I remember little bits and snatches of it.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was cool. It was hot as hell out in the middle of nowhere. I remember we drove down there about a 3-hour drive, and we didn't know where we were. There was no GPS or anything like that, of course. And we were going down some farm road, and there was some like metal-looking guy in black clothes on the corner waiting to direct us to the place. I do remember that, which was we were grateful for, because I don't know if we would have found it otherwise. He's like, oh yeah, you go down this road and whatever, and we made it and played, and it was a blast.
Yeah, that. It's cool that it's video documented, for such an old time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, someone must have had one of those old school 50-pound camcorders with them,
Right, where they would wear it on their hip like a whole VCR, right?
Yeah, or on your shoulder, and you need your rotator cuff replaced after that.
What's new with the band? You guys in the studio now, or?
No, we were actually, speaking of rotator cuffs, we were supposed to, we wanted to make a new album this spring, which is already basically come and gone, but I had to get a surgery on my shoulder back in January, all fucked up from playing death metal drums for, however many years, so that kind of threw that out the window. So I'm just now kind of getting back in the swing of things.
Right.
And so we got a show in Holland next month, so I have to be ready for that. That's really what's going on now. We wanted to make an album, and we couldn't because it was my fault, So as soon as we get a window of opportunity, we definitely want to do another one.
Very sick, dude. Very sick. I mean, it's all the last couple albums you guys put out are phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal, dude.
Oh, we're just a humble little rock and roll combo,
I'm aware, I was telling Mike here that Danny showed me how to do the snow fucking bongs or whatever in my freezer.
You motherfuckers, Chris, man. You guys are fucking.
It's funny because I heard you telling that story as I was unloading groceries out of the bag and into the fridge, freezer, and pantry. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I was listening when I got home. I didn't know about this until I got home after shopping, and Mike was like, hey, we're doing this thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit! I got home. I'm putting fucking chicken in the freezer and stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, Chris, because I was telling Roy and the heads here listening and watching. I was like, well, Chris and Eric or Cutler, fucking those guys are stoners, but like Danny is a whole nother level, man. Like he'll sit there and he'll interrogate you, but in a good way. He'll be like, look, I'm going to prepare you for something that you're ready to. You're going to go to another level right now. So, next thing you know, you're just like the most stoned you've ever been in your life.
Some things don't change, and nor should they.
Right, exactly. Danny fucking rules. Hey, we said because Roy was asking about Danny too, and I was like, dude, Danny's off the grid. He always has been, but give him our love too, man. We fucking love Danny, and me and Bart and Roy and the old school heads, Enrique and the Sinister Content guys, man. Just much love to you guys, brother, and especially Danny too, because he's not, he fucking. We can't get a hold of him as easily as you and Eric sometimes, because
yeah. I mean, he's not off the grid. He doesn't, do like me. I don't do social media.
No, I know,
he's old. I mean, he just turned fucking 65 last week.
Oh man, that's so crazy.
No, just on the 10th, a couple days ago, he just hit 65. So he's just stuck in his ways, doing his thing, and wouldn't have it any other way. He's not trying to hide out from people, but he's just enjoying his home life and band life and all that good stuff.
No, that's beautiful, dude.
You know what I always loved about Autopsy? Danny with the same guitar over all these years. Like that thing is kind of a legend in its own right.
You know what? It's that guitar is semi-retired. He actually last year he bought a Jackson, kind of almost a Strat-shaped guitar, because his Gibson needs it needs like, I don't know, it needs everything done to it.
Right.
But he still has it, and he's got this newish one that he loves too. So
cool.
But he still plays the same. That's the important part.
Yeah, of course. And then the other thing too about Autopsy with the kind of trade off on the guitar solo thing was always an amazing thing. With you guys and your sound too, beyond being
the maiden priest of death metal, the fucking merciful fate of death metal, man. I'm not afraid to say it. I know Chris is humble, dude. I love you, brother, but goddamn, dude. Cutler Corrales, that's the fucking that's the Cutler Corrales, man. We got to get the Cutler Corrales.
They know what they're doing,
Whatever. Let me ask you a question that might not have ever been asked. There might have been. Why did you end up as the singer and the drummer?
No, that's a legit thing to ask. Because no one else. We didn't have anyone else. we tried one buddy of ours out as per his request. He's like, let me try out to be your vocalist. I'm like, okay. It was terrible,
Right.
Like couldn't sing on time or like sound good or anything like that. But even before that, we just decided to do it on our own, because there was, believe it or not, at the time we were coming up with the stuff and where we lived, there was like no one into. I mean, there was like 5 people that were hip to death metal or something in town. And none of them like played anything or,
right.
Like it wasn't like there'd be a line out the door and we're like turning everyone down or something. We just immediately knew that we had to do it on our own.
We're having Metallica tryouts.
Yeah, the original intent was Eric and I were just going to split the vocals. We're like, all right, we're on our own. Let's do this. And
right.
He did, he did vocals for a minute, and then he just
mauled to death.
Yeah, he didn't really like it, and he just wanted to stick with guitar. So I just was like, kind of got stuck with it, and
Am I wrong to say that you were involved with some of the guitar riffs of the early Autopsy? Because obviously, there is some kind of transition between Stream Bloody Gore and like Severed Survival, say, you know what I mean? Or the demos or whatever. So like, did you were involved with some guitar riff writing too for the early stuff?
Oh, for Autopsy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Because I mean, between playing the drums, vocals, amazingly, like, so you were a part of writing the riff writing too, even in the earliest times.
Yeah, I mean, I started learning how to play guitar in like 80, probably like 83, I guess, just like teaching myself how to play it, and it got good enough to where I could like write riffs and things like that, you know. So I don't ever consider myself a guitar player, that I can play guitar, you know, but it's more like a tool for like songwriting and stuff like that, with a rare exception of like Violation Wound and stuff, where I actually played guitar in the band, but I've never considered myself a guitar player. It's like, well, I can write riffs and songs, so that'll work.
So you just brought some of those like to the party with Eric, hypothetically, and Danny, and said, you know, maybe something like this, etc.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Like you just brought a few riffs to the party back in the day, like show Danny or Eric or something, like, hey, you know, something like this, or...
No, we mostly just wrote our own songs.
Okay.
We just showed each other our songs. Like, you know, I'd be like, hey, I wrote, you know, this song called Stillborn. Here's how it goes. You know, and Eric would be like, hey, I wrote this song called Mauled to Death. Here's how it goes.
Oh, like okay.
That, you know?
Very cool, dude.
We worked together on a few songs in the early days, like Eric and I. Like we went in on, you know, like a few songs in the early days, but that didn't last too long. You know, like after Metal Funeral, we just kind of wrote our own stuff.
Cool. What about the radical departure on the slowness when you went to the like from the Severed Survival to like the complete fucking doomy, really slow Retribution from the Dead beginnings and shit? Was that conscientious, or was that the weed?
No, I don't really see it like that. You know, everyone, or a lot of people, you know, are like, oh, they got so slow on Metal Funeral, but if you listen to it, there's almost as much fast stuff as the first album, you know, but it just sounds, maybe it's the tones or something like that, because it sounds so different and so strange. But I mean, there's like oodles of fast.
Oh yeah, I think it was just the tone of the.
I agree.
I think it was just the tone of the first song being so slow. It was like, whoa, what the fuck is this, dude? And then you guys played it live too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've never made a conscious decision to do anything or to like take a direction or anything like that. It was just like, what mood are you in that day? What
just jamming,
right?
Yeah,
or whatever.
And since you guys now you have Greg as part of the team, you know, you guys are recording in his studio and all that, and things are working out pretty. Like I noticed, like really a lot of production.
Yeah, that's nice having an engineer in the band, you know.
Right.
That's definitely cool. The first one we did with him, Morbidity Triumphant, we did all at a place called Opus Studios in Berkeley.
Okay.
So we didn't do any of that at his studio, but then the one after that, the last one, Ashes. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. It's like revisiting my grocery list: Ashes, Organs, Blood, and Crips, and Bread and Milk and Eggs. We recorded the rhythms at a place called Shark Bite in I'm pretty sure it's Oakland, and then we did the rest at Greg's studio in Oakland, like vocals and guitar solos and things like that. But we did the basics at a place called Shark Bite, which we've never been to that before. We just kind of wanted to try something new just to see what could happen.
Yeah, you're starting to step out of Greg's zone.
We've never been and try something new, and it worked out really good. We're stoked.
Yeah, so you're trying to step out of Greg's zone to try to go to different places, try something new, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we recorded at Greg's once before he was in the band.
Right.
That was the Puncturing the Grotesque record. And then then we went to a place called Opus after that. Or no, we probably did. I don't know. I'm losing track.
Heavy sound, man. Heavy. No, that's
the next album we'll do the same thing. We'll probably most likely do the basics at Shark Bite again, because it was cool, and then do all the other stuff at Greg's studio, Earhammer. It was a good arrangement. It was cool.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Thank you for coming on too, man. I appreciate it, because hearing it from you is different. You know, like I came on here just to listen to Autopsy, play some of your old stuff, and then even play some bands that like kind of worship Autopsy, like a Mashitazo or a Mausoleum or something, or Anatomia. You know what I mean? But it's nice to have, you know, you involved, and just like you really made a big fucking dent on me, and you made a big fucking dent on the death metal scene. as far as, again, not not changing, basically, you know what I mean? You guys kept it thorough the whole fucking time, dude, you know?
Oh, we're just doing what we like, you know, and we're just a link in the chain, you know, like there's bands before us doing this stuff, and there'll be bands after us doing this stuff. So we're happy to be in the mix, you know?
Yeah, for sure, dude. And I mean, I just want to let you know and let our podcast watchers know that we fucking appreciate Autopsy, man, you know? And I appreciate you coming on to talk. I mean, at some point, if you want to come on, we'll have a real fucking interview or whatever. And maybe we can get 1 or 2 guys on here. I know Greg actually mentioned that he would come on too. And it'd be cool to have you guys on and just shoot the shit, and because probably it's stuff that the fans would want to know, or maybe I want to know, and just to talk about history of the band, etc. You know.
Sounds like a party to me.
All right, brother. So thank you for coming on. Thank you, Mike, too, bro.
Right on, you guys. Well, cool. I'm gonna go figure out what to make for dinner.
Yeah, what's for dinner? Peas.
Yeah, what's for dinner, dude?
If anyone wants to tell me what to make with it, yeah, I don't know. I got to figure something out, you know. So I'm gonna try and eat before 10 o'clock.
Well, you know, I am a former chef, brother, for 7 years, so I will be happy to answer your text. So send me the questions, brother, and I'll get it. And my love to Nancy. And
love to Nancy.
Roy says love to Nancy, love to Eric, Danny, and Greg. And we love you guys, dude. Thank you so much, Chris. You're the man.
Thanks, Chris.
Dude, seriously, this is like monumental that you took time, because we worship you guys, dude. Like, I know you're a humble fucking person. You know, us Californians, we're very humble too. We really are, man, when it comes down to it. So we really appreciate you. But you especially, Chris. You've always been the best, dude.
Yeah, man. I'll be on here kissing your ass for the next hour or two. So you want to listen to it. I appreciate you, brother.
We're your friends too, brother. So anytime, man, hit us up. Love you, man. All right. Fuck yeah, man. Take care, brother. Late.
All right. So there you have it.
Wow, that was fucking.
Chris Reifert has joined the fucking chat, basically.
Wow,
you know?
Man. We could fucking, you know, we're going to keep going, but we can end it right now if we need to.
I hear you, dude. That's a big mic dropper right there. You know what I mean?
Hey, man. Nah, it was fucking beautiful, man.
I mean, I think we should go back into the past.
Do that.
Yeah, let's go back in the past. Wasn't this the song that they had the 2 vocals, Mauled to Death?
Oh, dude, play Mauled to Death for sure.
So I'm gonna play something. I want to play something from the new fucking Autopsy because we can't leave out. We can play the old shit all we want, but why don't we play something new? Actually,
yeah, they got some fucking new shit's fucking badass, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So why don't we visit some new Autopsy? Because
let's do it.
Like I said, I didn't want to do. I'll do the show out of order, basically, purposely, because just to let me see if I had pulled something together here. I might.
It's your fucking show, Roy. Do it. Fuck whatever you want to do.
This is it. New shit. right, so that was new Autopsy. It's Ashes, Organs, Blood, and Crypts. Hold on a sec. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we had the gods on here, so that's fucking sick as fuck, dude. It was cool that Chris came on and talked. And
all right, I'm gonna text Eric right now as we speak.
All right, I hit Eric on Facebook Messenger. He saw my message, but we'll see if we can.
He's got like he's like busy. You, man. He's a Renaissance man. He's got like 17 different phone numbers these days.
Okay. Well, he's got to avoid.
I know you've been going through that with your divorce and shit like that, so.
Yeah. Things are straightening out. Things are straightening out for me.
All kinds of burners and shit like that, you know.
Things are straightening out for me, so I'm good.
Hey,
which is a good place to be.
That's fucking good to hear, man. I haven't fucking we haven't had a chance to talk about that, but we'll do that offline, you know.
Yeah. So we're gonna play some Autopsy Worship right now, and this was a band that basically robbed Autopsy of their riffs and play like Autopsy. So the band is called Mausoleum. Check it out, guys.
No walls, no heartbeats. Titles, politically dead inside. Mother's feeling sick. She's still throwing up. The doggers, getting play wide. The worth, the doomed in the wound. Surgeons begin. Abort procedure. Assume still more. Showing fingers and to have to play. Or just earnestly. No feeling, but it's morning dawn. Every time down, it's that. When you raise it, and the die. What the people say, everything got under the globe. Just under the tragic waves of living in a life. The every day, it's something that's touching and crying. Over, inside out, others look at the light. Damage, others damage, in the chaos. Splattered vomited, inside in your returning day. Get ready, present down. Surely blinding, the memory. Ripping through, examine, in death times. Until it's finally dead. Religion can never end with domination. Until the pain will find the one blood red. Waiting me from your pain. Motherfuckers follow your landmine. Then come back to life with me. Legend go to play the grave. Living daily testing blind. Into a burning in flames. I would go dancing and watching. While taking your evil sweats. And I go back to new writing. Running around a given place. Maybe they're running train routes. Fighting to kill again. And together as one. Out of the brave. I'm more technical face.
All right, so before there was blood incantation, there was Mausoleum doing something similar, who was playing stuff that sounded a lot like early Autopsy, and then they put out a couple good albums, and then beyond us just playing bands that kind of are Autopsy worshippers, Autopsy themselves have their own worship fucking bands too, and I want to play one right now. And it's members of Entombed and Dismember, if I'm not mistaken, and members of Autopsy all together. And the band is Murder Squad, and this is one of their tracks.
Murder fucking Squad!
In their face, fluttering like knives.
All right, some amazing stuff there. Murder Squad. That, like I said, they had contained members of. They were like an autopsy tribute band in a weird way, right? But it contained members
Yeah,
of
it was
like
the Swedish guys, and they had Reifert fucking sing on that shit, man.
on
Fuck
some
yeah.
stuff, yeah. And they had Matty Karki in there. You had
Yep.
members of Dismember. You had Uffe from Entombed. You had
Yep.
It even says Jorgen Stanstrom was in the band too at some stage. So you had members
Everybody
of
in
Grave.
fucking Sweden fucking worshipped Autopsy, dude, to
Yeah.
the fullest extent, dude.
Which you could tell by the Nihilist demos, and then even the earliest Dark Throne stuff, say like the Goat Lord record. I detect a lot of fucking Autopsy on that fucking
You're
thing,
absolutely right, man. Morbid Angel and Autopsy were the two biggest influences on Swedish death metal of all time.
Yeah. So
Bottom
I busted
line,
this
dude.
out for you, brother, because this was the show you were at right here. This is the
Yes,
Water
sir.
Club, right?
I got it right there in my fucking corner of my room right here, man.
So yeah, this was the original flyer from back in the day of so it was
Yes, sir.
Autopsy, Sadistic Intent. Was Immolation there? Did they play?
They did not, man. They were supposed to
not.
come down, and the promoter was known for being a fucking weirdo, so he fucked that up.
Yeah, and then there was
Everybody
Demolition.
else played. It was a legendary fucking night.
Yeah,
That
Demolition
was Entity's debut.
and Entity. Is that where they recorded the live Entity demo from this?
That's what they did. That's where Jack was puking up fucking cup of noodles and PCP, dude.
There you go. So this is the old fucking flyer from my collection. As you guys know, I've been dumping a few flyers and things from my own personal collections, you know. So somebody copped that off me. I wanted to show it on here, though. Hold on. Let's get Mike on the screen. So
this is a fucking crude ass, fucking ridiculous, like thrown together fucking live autopsy fucking at the San Pedro Waters Club.
Right.
Same show you were talking about, man. That's the fucking show. So yeah, I got that fucking shit here. We made our own tapes and that was it, man. But nothing fancy. That's it. Fucking
yeah. I had the other cover too. Wasn't this the one that became this cover too? The Mexican LP
probably,
bootleg?
man. I mean, the recording of that night is legendary, man. We just fucking threw some tapes together and started trading them, you know, because everybody loves Autopsy, obviously, and
fuck yeah, dude.
It was all good, man, and we just fucking started fucking getting some good shit. It was
also,
almost like, oh, you got Autopsy? Oh, cool. You got Immolation, you got Agoraphobia? All right, let's trade, you know, fucking bam. Then there we go. And that's how we got the fucking shit on the East Coast. Oh, you got live Apparition, you got live Suffocation, fucking we got live Autopsy, man. Fucking dude, that was like until Carcass broke and fucking blew up, you know, it was like Morbid Angel 2. Autopsy was the shit. Everybody wanted Autopsy, man.
Yeah.
So we were trading that motherfucking tape like a motherfucker, dude. But then all hell broke loose with that Carcass live tape and shit. So
yeah, and this cover too, drawn by Alfonso Artgore, who did a lot of the early Cenotaph artwork and stuff too. So definitely a piece for the history, an early Autopsy release, you know. And then also there was this art too, which was amongst the maybe like the second-ish Autopsy shirt, second or third-ish. If this looks familiar to anybody out there.
I had that shirt, man. I don't know what happened to it. That's OG as fuck right there, man. That's some old ass fucking shit. They were selling that at the first Autopsy show right there in San Pedro.
Okay, and they were selling this at the Day of Death, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm not mistaken completely, I think Chris told me he used to print shirts back then years ago. So I don't know if he actually made these himself, which is even fucking cooler.
I do have talking about Chris, man. Fucking the first thing I got from him was the fucking 88 Rehearsal.
Hold on, let me turn this off.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
I tried to bring this up during the conversation with them, but this is the very first thing I got from him.
Wowzers.
It's actually, see, the funny thing is like this demo here, I never got. This is the original 87 demo, right?
Right.
Now, I got this years later when I did my bootleg fucking demo episode, and I threw this in with Morbid Angel, Destruction, Creator, all that other shit, Sodom, Venom, and I got the fucking Autopsy. I never got this. Chris never sent this out to anybody like back then. He was probably ashamed of it. He won't say it, but it was like the old shit. But this is a fucking
OG logo too.
Oh yeah,
the old
this
like
is a fucking rehearsal right here.
A lot of different morphs on the logo too.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is a fucking old school fucking rehearsal that fucking Chris sent out. And then this is after the fucking 87 demo. Got this and then fucking wrote to him with Critical Madness. And then I interviewed him with Extinction of God and the fanzine right before Severed Survival. So it was kind of cool. You know, we were just, as you heard, Chris is fucking awesome. He's just a real down to earth dude. You know what I mean? As you've experienced too, Roy. He staged your pad, shit like that.
Always joking, always having a good time, you know?
For sure, man. The Autopsy boys are true Cali fucking motherfuckers, man. We're just like, I'm talking about the Cali working class motherfuckers. We're just fucking chill, man. You know?
Yeah.
And fucking,
definitely.
We're about it. So.
All right, so let's get to some more playing of the Autopsy and worshiping. Let's see what else we have here for you guys. Let's bounce around a little bit. This comes from the 7-inch, the double 7-inch that I put out. It was called Tortured Moans of Agony. And it was recorded in Jersey in '93 on the Morgue Incantation Vital Remains tour. We're gonna play a little piece of this. So check it out. Death metal, man.
Yeah.
comes out. It's called Shit Eater.
All right, two cuts from the old, some old necroharmonic fucking
I'm a shitty
double 7-inch. There was 6 fucking Autopsy logos on that thing. They had 6 different fucking logos. So I put like 4 on the fucking center things and 2 on the fucking cover, and I was like, God damn, they got 6 logos, dude. You know. And you can't sleep too. This release came out too. So this was Fiend for Blood. This is the original vinyl of Fiend for Blood, basically, which is an amazing fucking again with the fucking sick fucking what was it, $9.99, huh? $8.99. So amazing fucking Peaceville release, import at the time. Managed to cop my fucking Fiend for Blood. You know, I love. Oh shit! Here he goes. Bring it on, brother. Oh,
he's debut album that was so nice. I had to buy it fucking twice.
Right, got you. I got that debut album. I was digging. I was actually. It's kind of funny because right here too, since you said dig it, have it twice. Here's the fucking CD version of the fucking Fiend for Blood as well, dude. You know. I can't just have the record, right? I have to have the fucking CD as well.
Dude, I couldn't find my fucking Fiend for Blood 12-inch or my Severed Survival demo.
And then here's one version of this, and then there's, let me see here. I got another version of this too. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I don't know where the fuck I did with it, but they have a digipack version as well.
Yeah.
This was the one that had the Retribution from the Dead only, you know?
Yep.
So
I had all that shit, and I know I have the Severed Survival demo, and I couldn't fucking find it, but I got the goddamn re-release fucking bootleg, and I fucking I got the goddamn 88 fucking Rehearsal fucking.
That's the crazy one.
So
we're gonna play a song from Fiend for Blood live here. So here we go. This is
nice.
Done in at Ruthie's Inn. I don't know if you were there, brother. San Francisco, 1994.
I wish.
Sorry, I'm a little high. I don't think I played the right song. Thank you, though. What do you call it?
Good, man.
I found this. This is a rarity. Mark Riddick cover, which was the Autopsy demos written with disease.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's fucking limited, dude. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's an old. It was a issue of kind of the CD I put out as a record with Mark Riddick's artwork on it. Yeah, you don't see this one too much.
Nah, fuck no, man.
It was official shit though, man. So this Autopsy written with disease at the time came out many moons ago, many moons.
Hell yeah.
So let's see what else we got in the chamber of fucking Autopsy. After 94, though, Autopsy had kind of dissolved, you know what I mean? So what you were looking at there was kind of like some of the last stuff they might have been doing towards Cali, you know what I mean?
Nah, you know what's funny is that Rhett and I were always joking about that. Like, the only two people that gave a fuck about Autopsy fucking breaking up was me and him, you know? And Abscess was great because it was a continuation, but it wasn't the same, man. You know, it wasn't fucking straight death metal, but shit was fucking changing, dude. Black metal was taking over and brutal death metal. And so like old school fucking shit like Autopsy just fucking.
You know what, though? At the same time, yeah, you've seen an evolution in Autopsy, which you could kind of see right here. So as the time went on with the Acts of the Unspeakable, etc., you know what I mean? Like the song started to get like just a little faster in a way. Like they started to slip away from being as slow, you know?
Right.
And then I don't know, play it out of order, but like check out on I have to censor the cover probably, but this would be a good example. Like when Abscess turned to Abscess, before that happened, you had this basically. A shorty.
Short
and sweet.
Yeah, they had a lot of fucking short bangers.
I had to censor the cover though because YouTube's a little fucking weird sometimes, you know? Or Twitch.
Fucking YouTube, man.
That's why you do your shit offline, right, Mike?
Dude, I'm trying to go live and shit at some point, but yeah, dude, I've been so discouraged with so much shit. I've been wanting to, you know,
it's a little restrictive.
The choir, dude. You know what's up. It's fucking stupid, dude.
Can be restrictive if you just want to
man, it's like
talk about bands you like.
Fuck. Shut the fuck up and just let us fucking play our shit, man.
Or just, you know, talk about bands you like, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, fuck, I got some fucking old radio shows that I can't do that are fucking badass that they're all copyrighted now because some fucking dickhead fucking, you know, major label fucking cocksucker fucking owns the rights or whatever. But hey, what are you going to do, man?
You know what? We got to talk about, too, the artwork from the inside, the Acts of the Unspeakable, dude. Fuck.
So fucking brutal, man.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Right? Some incredible.
Remember that fucking gatefold, dude?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Here's a little piece of that gatefold right here, you know? As much as we could show, basically, you know?
Yeah, man.
Phenomenal release.
Get fucking banned, dude.
Phenomenal fucking release, you know? And I mean, I definitely, you know, like, so after Acts of the Unspeakable and Shit Fun, like the band kind of dissolved and became like the Abscess. And then, you know, Eric kind of was doing his thing. And then, you know, like everybody was kind of going their own direction. But also right before all this, you had this right here, which they recorded like a demo with, which was like a project band at the time. They were called Doomed. So here's Doomed.
The Boogeyman!
Step to the body, feel the end, it's all part of my body.
Actually, a whole bunch of them out there. All those fucking witches. witches! Witches! Thank you. That was a treat. Fucking doomed! Doomed! And we are doomed. You are doomed! Motherfucker!
You are doomed.
Is that you, Mike? Is that you?
You are doomed.
Is that you, Mike?
That's
Back
it,
in the
man.
back
Yeah,
there?
you fucking that dude. That's it. That's
Severed
me.
Survival is my favorite for sure,
Well,
dude. Mine too.
Let me tell you, the Boogeyman was something else. If you're in, Mick Harris always said that a total autopsy dose. He was talking about the band Autopsy, how badass they were.
Right.
And when you're a fucking total autopsy dose, you're the elite of the elite. That's why fucking Autopsy is the fucking best death metal band of all time. So let me elaborate real quick. Boogeyman was one of the crew,
Right.
and he was there at the Hong Kong Cafe, and they did that Doom song. And man, they did that on that tour fucking several times. I know Brad from Morgue has video evidence of that. It was just something else.
Yeah, he
man.
flew out to New York just to do it in New York.
Yeah.
That's how I got to meet.
It was one of those things, man. It was so good. The little project they got going on that Peaceville put that shit out on 7-inch. And
Chris playing the
Relapse.
guitar, if you saw in the video there.
Yeah. That was
Cool.
fucking, if you know the Boogeyman, I mean, Autopsy had a bunch of fucking, they had a crew, They were
Right.
cool with the Sadus guys and the Hex guys and whatnot. There was because extreme fucking metal was few and far between in Northern California in the mid to late 80s, So just like LA, we had a fucking really small fucking scene, even though it was a big fucking city,
Yeah.
But Boogeyman was one of the fucking guys, and that shows you right there. He was a fucking maniac. And,
yeah, that was a good project. Somebody's asking me what's in the cup. It's this
fucking
stuff right
fun,
here.
dude. It was
This is
fucking
what's in
fun.
the cup.
Fucking Roy, man, you fucking planted some makers, huh?
I mean, this is an autopsy episode, so it has to involve whiskey, right? That seems like one of those things.
You got to do it, brother. I'm gonna fucking. I'm gonna cut out, man. I gotta fucking do some shit for the rest of the night.
Thank you for coming on, brother. I appreciate you sharing your autopsy fucking memories. We're gonna continue with Death Metal Podcasts and play some more new stuff and old stuff and some worship of autopsy. Thank you, Mike, for coming on. And
I love you, Roy, man.
Talk to us about the
next autopsy. And dude, it's an honor to be on here. And everybody that's listening, let me just say, fucking Autopsy is my fucking favorite band of all time, just like Roy, man.
Right.
And Black Sabbath, Venom, Autopsy. That's my big three. It changes.
Mike Ruin Kills shares. Everybody, thank you, Mike, for bringing Chris on. Also, what could you talk to the Witching Hour next episode?
Next episode, I got Austin from Vacuous Depths coming on, but I'm going to post the Impetigo box set that I just got recently and shit. So I'm going to post that up. I'm fucking running all kinds of stupid fucking YouTube bullshit.
Again, Hasney saying thank you for sharing, Mike. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate you coming on. We're going to continue this episode and keep it rocking.
All the guys fucking rip it up. Autopsy fucking rules.
Autopsy! Forget Slayer, right?
Fuck Slayer. Autopsy fucking rules, baby.
All right, we're going to go out, put a good song on for Mike.
Got you guys soon, man.
Thank you, brother.
Love you guys. Love you, Roy.
let's give it up big for Mike. Thank you for tuning in, Mike. Tuning into Mike and he brought Chris Reifert on, which is fucking sick as fuck. So we're gonna continue this with autopsy stuff and some fucking autopsy worship, basically. I'm gonna go a little longer for you guys for Death Metal Podcast. So this would be on the worship side of things. Band who pretty much, followed the footsteps of the game plan of Autopsy. That's Mashitazo.
There is no vengeance from your wrath. From your wrath.
All right, we're gonna step into the worship side again. So that was from Skull Grinder release. But let's step into the worship of Autopsy now. I have to cover the fucking cover though of this thing because it gets me also banned from. Let me put the fucking cover up first. Actually, hail Autopsy, man. They totally can't fuck with this shit. So this band's called Corpse Vomit. They're from the Netherlands. This was from 1993, Drowned in Puke.
Sleeping in the sun.
How's it going? So this is our autopsy worship fucking episode, basically. I thought Death Metal Podcast was in need of what I consider my favorite, like, most best death metal band, you know? The one that stayed the most consistent over the years, too, and they never swayed on the art. They never swayed on them themselves. They never swayed musically, even. It's like their earliest stuff is just as good as their last stuff, you know? So really, you know, when they had come back, you know, they came back strong. This was Slaughter at the Beast House. Check it out.
Deep inside the shadows of the sound, I will not be the virgin. This nightmarish spawning begin. Tales of torture with screams. Bring one knowing blood warfare.
All right, Death Metal Podcast. So this is our Autopsy Worship Edition. So thank you for everyone that tunes in and is tuning in, basically. Got to hit the whiskey with the fucking Simpsons. So this is not just Autopsy tracks, but like some of the bands that worship them too. And some of the side bands too, because we played Doomed, and we even have some other stuff coming up that's Autopsy related. So that was from the Headless, what the fuck is it called? The Headless Ritual. So, you know, they had after Shit Fun in 1995, the next record that they had put out was in 2011, which was Macabre Eternal. So they had, you know, like a hiatus where Abscess was done, the Ravenous, a bunch of, you know, a lot of different other bands too, beyond Autopsy. Abscess put out like multiple releases, and then Autopsy reformed, and basically since then they have not stopped, and their stuff is just devastatingly brutal. So during the period of Autopsy being dismembered, they had done a band with Killjoy from Necrophagia. Chris Reifert did, and Dan Loker. With Dan Loker later played on the Autopsy session stuff as a bassist on the live stuff. But they had a band that was called the Ravenous, and here's their stuff. Apocalyptic Paranoia.
What the hell is this?
Well, that's just some stuff that I...
What's the matter? You don't like dog anymore? Maybe dog's too good for a runaway slut like you.
Dog's ghost is talking at me at night.
Can you see the end? Rise of the world. A message in blood. I am death cloud. Like the fatal sting. Only the life. Preparing for war.
sideways and almost tore poor Martha apart. Dogs falling in the well. I even found chickens with their heads bit off.
An excuse to kill. Don't need a better reason. The pleasure in itself. A fertile dying season. I breathe famine. Memory disease. A living plague. I sow the seed. I was the dead.
So you had a trade-off vocals between Chris Reifert and Killjoy on the Ravenous. So they did a couple of releases. They had done that 3 on the Meat Hook, and that was a song called Apocalyptic. What the fuck is it? I don't know. Apocalyptic. Whatever. I have an interview with Chris actually from back in the day, and then he's talking about this Ravenous stuff. I did it for Slayer Mag for some reason, and Metallion didn't want to publish it. I asked a lot of questions about death too. I was really deep. This was still back when Evil Chuck was still with us, you know. So this is our autopsy fucking worship episode where we had Chris Reifert came on, which is dope, with Mike from Abominator on the phone, and you hit him with a few questions. So if anyone ever wants to check that out, definitely check. Just roll back the tape some point, and I'll throw a bookmark on that area. So up next, let's see. We're gonna go back into Autopsy Zone. That was Ravenous with that. That was like a side project of Autopsy members, mixed with Dan Lilker from Nuclear Assault SOD, and Killjoy from Necrophagia. So here's a live version of like a like a newer Autopsy song with a newer guy. All right, so technically, Necroharmonic, we released 3 different Autopsy releases. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Autopsy too for letting me fucking fuck with your early stuff. You know, we put out this demo CD back in the day. It was called "Ridden with Disease," and I had got Mike Diana, the famous Boiled Angel artist, to do the cover of this. So it was pretty sleazy at the time. This was old school Mike Diana style, you know. He was the convicted Gainesville killer from Florida or whatever. So, and then this was an old photo too I had pulled from my archive of Chris singing. Pretty sick. This was a photo taken by Kurt Hubert, who did photos for the Autopsy first record or whatever. He had sent me a cluster of photos. This was a photo I took of Danny warming up at the Bell House when they played with Undergang in 2012 or some shit. I have the flyer for it, but still with the blue guitar there, you know. This was the show actually. It was Undergang. It was Autopsy, Funebrarum, Unearthly Trance, and Undergang at the Bell House. This is the first time I met David from Undergang too, which was super fucking sick. So up next, let's see. We're going to go back into the Autopsy worship chamber. This is a band called Funeral Reality from Sweden. Mental Funerality. All right, so we're gonna start wrapping down, but I want to send a shout out to all the people that watched the Death Metal podcast. So shout out to Cardiac Arrest, Zachary AK47, James Scholl, Bob Kelly, JG from Torture Rack, Rotten Punks, Thorsten from Germany, Nicola Mord, James G. Philosopher, Andrew Gabriel, Trillium Zine, Chris Herrera, Gornome from Fondle Corpse, French Sensual Vengeance, Chris Herrera. Shout out to Chris Reifert for coming in on the phone. Shout out to Mike Abominator for joining the thing. Aaron from Goat Throne, Dark Wolf. Who else here? Let me see here. Jeff Chapman, thank you. Steve Areno, Dr. Butcher MD, F Sharp. Who else? Let's see here. Just Bay Area Cam, Vacuous Depths. Thank you for everyone that tunes into Death Metal Podcast on the regular. So I really appreciate the support and the chat, because that's what brings to the death metal community of you guys talking about like the death metal stuff on here, and maybe bringing up a fact that I don't know or whatever. Baphometic Fanny Packer, thank you. Who else here? Let's see. Sizzle Slice, X Brutal, Tammy on Acid, Gornome, Steve Areno, Mickey Knox. Thank you for everybody that tunes in to Death Metal Podcast on the regs. Like I said, I appreciate it. That Blind, that's what do you call it? We played the Funeral Reality. That's on Noxious Ruin. So who else here? Thank you for everyone that tunes in. Appreciate you. You know, like Juan H. Thank you. Aaron Fogg, Chris Herrera, everyone that tunes in on the regular. I appreciate fucking this. You guys sharing the Autopsy Worship episode with me. You know, you too, Derek. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. It's been a hoot. Cool. I'm glad everyone is, you know, like I've tried to mix it up between like playing some Autopsy stuff and then playing some of their side projects and playing some worship stuff too. So this would be like an Autopsy side project, which is like kind of a rare one on just one comp LP with Eric. And this is Grave Violators. Check it out. All right, that was a little bit of a rarity. So a few more. I'm going to play some old songs, and I'm going to play some songs from the last 10 years, and then we're going to be out of here. So appreciate the Autopsy support. One of the best fucking death metal bands there is. It was awesome to have Chris come on, too. This is Pagan Savior from Cali in 94.
This next song is fucking savory.
All right, 6 stage dive at the end. So that was some live Autopsy from 94. They were doing Pagan Savior. So a few more songs and I'm out of here. We're going to show a few more photos too. There's some old school shit in my fucking collect here. So the old Autopsy photo with Ken and you got Chris there to the left. Ken, Eric, and they're wearing like some of the earliest shit. So this is like a lineup early early lineup photo shit. This is the early banner that kind of rolls with them. The Autopsy fucking banner that you see in the back of all the fucking old school show photos and shit. This is from my personal collection, a photo of Dan Loker playing with Chris, and this was like a warm up to an Autopsy gig or something. I think this was at Maryland Death Fest, if I'm not mistaken. I took this, and then this is me years ago throwing a bar stool at the bar with my fucking Autopsy hoodie on, cheesesteaks, and then all kinds of stuff here. What do you call it? So we're going to play a few more songs, new Autopsy stuff and old maybe, and then I'm out of here. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate the fucking Autopsy support.
My name is Chris Reifert. I'm with the band Autopsy. We're recording a new album called Macabre Eternal for Peaceville Records. It's our first full length since 1995, so we're very excited, and Fantasy Studios is definitely the place to do it. obviously like a really professional and cool place, and they welcome freaks like us.
Take my hand of darkness, and I'll lead you to the door.
So what more could we ask for? It's gonna get done right, and we can be crazy.
Shrimicha!
Oh wait, I think we only did that 8 times. It's supposed to be 10. Okay, go back. Today is day 5. We've done all our, rhythm tracks, bass and drums and guitars, and today was like finishing touches. We did our guitar solos 2 nights ago. Today's vocals, and then we're ready to roll. Mix.
Millions of stones will leave my flesh.
To be playing in the same room as all the amazing, insane bands that have been here, throughout the ages, it's crazy. You could just feel it in the air, it's nuts. It's great. Love it. Jazz and country and rock and everything else you can think of too here, and it's just a great place to be. It feels like home to us.
All right, so make sure you tune in next week to Death Metal Podcast. Who knows what we have in store? But, you know, we came pretty hard with the fucking Autopsy this time, right? So definitely support their new stuff or their show coming up. Let me see here. They have a show coming up in Detroit with Nunslaughter, Cardiac Arrest, Acid Witch. First show in 35 fucking years, dude. So thank you for supporting the Death Metal Podcast dedicated to fucking Autopsy. So thank you, everybody that listens and tunes in on the regulars. I appreciate the support of DMP. We'll be back next week with another sicko episode. Thank you.
See you.